Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You know what time it is. Papa's comic books and coffee. Okay, let's see who decided to visit us today. Oh, look at that. Squadron Supreme, number 10. 75 cents back in 1986. This is by Mark Grunwald and Paul Ryan. The dark from within, caught in the quagmire. Now don't forget, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Give me a like. Tell me in the comments what's going on. If you want to hear something, let me know. If I have it in my library, I'll try to get it on. Let's get to it. Squadron Supreme, The Dark from Within. In this expanded edition of Squadron Newswatch, we will examine the life and legacy of Tom Thumb, the second squadron member to die in action this year, as well as bring you a special report on Tom's final technological gift to the world. I'm your host, Randall Bordigan. Thomas Thompson was born 41 years ago in a small town of Metzburg, Pantia, stricken with a pituitary abnormality. When he was 3, Thompson stopped growing at 3 feet 7 inches. Though a dwarf in stature, he was a giant in intellect. By the age of 17, he earned PhDs in math, physics, and electrical engineering. No mere theoretician was he. Thompson applied his genius to solving practical problems that intrigued him, such as creating more effective crime-fighting techniques. To put his inventions to a test, Thompson fashioned costume identity for himself, calling himself Tom Thumb. He apprehended scores of bizarre criminals, such as the Iron Moth. His valiant crusade against crime brought him to the attention of the recently founded Squadron Supreme. Despite the fact that he possessed no superhuman powers, he was invited to join America's premier band of superhuman defenders. Although he was as formidable as combatant, Thumb's greatest contributions to the squadron were in terms of technology. Tom Thumb's growing achievement was the design and construction of Rocket Central, the world's first orbiting manned satellite, which the squadron used as its headquarters until its recent destruction. However, it's been in the last year that Tom Thumb's genius bore the most fruit. It began 10 months ago when the squadron went to the nationwide television to announce their Utopia program, a bold plan to eliminate all the major problems plaguing our then troubled nation. It soon became evident that without Tom Thumb's technical contributions, the program would not be possible. It was Tom Thumb who invented the revolutionary behavior modification machine, a device designed to condition the human mind to detect criminal thought. With it, all of the nation's prisoners have been rehabilitated and released from the federal and state custody. This radical new approach to dealing with society's lawbreakers was of course met with a great deal of controversy. In one of his rare public appearances in the past year, Thumb explained that he believed an uncivilized society punishes criminals while a civilized one reforms them. One can see how worn and haggard Tom Thumb looked 4 months ago. Perhaps he knew of his fatal condition even then. Tom's next innovation was met with great public acclaim, a force field generating belt capable of protecting citizens from all violent assaults. Recent polls indicate that one in every 10 Americans now owns the ultimate personal protection device. To take the place of the non-obsolete handgun, Tom and his lab partners, Apex, introduced the non-lethal pacifier pistol, which curtails violent behavior through the stimulation of the brain's pleasure centers. These pistols are now the sole armament of the nation's police and armed forces. However, Tom was working on his most startling technological achievement at the time of his death. It is believed that this invention will enhance the quality of life in America to a greater degree than any of his others. There's a lot of reading here. Here's Power Princess, spokesperson for the Squadron Supreme, to tell us about it in an exclusive presentation. Tom Thumb's death was as much a surprise to the squadron as it was to you. He kept his illness from us, his friends, until the very end. As well as being a dear friend and comrade, Tom was a linchpin in our Utopia program. I'd like to talk about the impact his death will have on our meetings to the program's goals: hunger, economy, crime, war, poverty, environment, disease. Here is a chart of the 7 problems airbag of our Utopia. Airbus? I don't know. Of our Utopia program was designed to address. As you can see, we've made at least progress in curing disease. Perhaps recognizing that his own illness would prevent him from realizing his goal of eliminating all disease, Tom and his lab partners, Apex, began working on a contingency plan some months ago. The device you see behind me is a hibernaculum. It is designed to lower the body temperature and slow all of the life processes to a state of hibernation. While we do not now have the knowledge to cure all diseases, with the hibernaculum, we can place the ill and injured into a life-suspended state until such time as we do have the knowledge to cure them. Even as we speak, factories are being converted to mass-produce hibernacula. Within a month, 10,000 hibernacula will be fully operational. Also being manufactured are life watches, like the one in my hand. They are portable, solar-charged devices designed to monitor the wearer's vital signs, sort of like an iWatch. In the event of death, the watch will send out an electronic signal to Central Terminal manned by specially trained crews of hibernetics. These hibernetics will retrieve you no matter where you are and place you in a hibernaculum. In the future, when we are all successors, find a way to cure your cause of death, you will be revived. Plans are currently being made to build huge hibernacular depositories for the hibernacula in every major city in the U.S. A prototype has been built here in Squadron City, and one is under construction in the nation's capital. Tom Thumb, the principal architect of this bold venture into life extension, is dead, but thanks to the technology he created, he will be back someday. And when medical advances permit him to do just that, I think he's going to be more pleased to see the great multitude of you given a new lease on life than he'll have to renew life himself. He is that kind of guy. Finally, I'd like to announce that there are vast career opportunities in the exciting new field of hibernetics medicine available to you, the general public. Be sure to see, click. Don't know about the rest of you, but I've heard enough. Real clever. How they turned Tom's death into a propaganda for their new program. You said it, Nighthawk. There's still no mention of the Hyperion has taken to wearing those high-tech sunglasses, or if it has anything to do with why the princess has taken over the squadron leadership. You really think the public's going to go along with this freeze-dry to cheat death baloney? I've noticed that Quagmire hasn't made a public appearance in over a month. That's real odd. They also haven't explained how President's Mountain got demolished. Okay, people, let's table the speculation for a minute and get down to business, namely, how the 10 of us are going to overthrow the squadron. Late into the night, the secret band of superhuman rebels, organized by former squadron member Nighthawk, discusses strategies. The next morning in Squadron City, the Squadron Supreme gathers for a morning roll call, totally unaware of the existence of the rival assemblance of half of the individuals who comprise it. Then, to review today's work assignments, Spectrum and Foxfire go to Capital City to supervise the construction of the Hibernacle. Eagle and Lamprey go to Pavlovia Decriminalization Institute. Whizzer and Shape go to the Civil Services Center in Cosmopolis. Hyperion goes to assist in the restoration of the President's Mountain. That's it. See you all tonight. And Arcana and I go to the Herculenia for a meeting with the American Medical Association. Say, Spessy, how'd you work it out so you got paired off again? Trade secret, Fox. Looks like we got another snoozer, huh? Say, Apex, could I talk to you a minute? Certainly, Hyperion. Just a minute, Arcana. I'm having a bit of a problem with these image simulators you made for me. Whenever I'm near a powerful electromagnetic source, the picture gets very distorted. Let me see them. Oh, I think I see the problem. The capacitor on the left sensor grid is out of alignment with the right one. I should be able to adjust it for you in a jiff. Well, wait, without them I can't relax. With your great airspeed, a 5-minute late start won't amount to much. Say, how about a cup of my famous hibiscus tea while you wait, big guy? Sure. An hour later over Capital City, Megaland. Rise and shine, Foxy Lady. We're almost at the work site. Yee, sure do appreciate the way you let a gal catch up on spare 40 winks specs machine. Least I could do, seeing as how I'm the one who keeps you up late every night. I better make the bed. I wonder what he means by that. Look, there's the squadron. Just what we need, the super feds hanging around and watching us, sweating, telling us how to do our jobs. They're supposed to help, not just supervise, I hear. Greetings, men. I'm Spectrum, and this is my associate, Foxfire. Joe's a riot when he puts on his official voice. That's the row of buildings I suppose to come down, sir. Probably they'll take 3 or 4 days to level it all. I think I can help on that score. You look even prettier in real life than on TV. Sure. Let me have a crack at it first, darling. Be my guest, Blondie. Green sparks dance around the Foxfire's hand like a swarm of drunken fireflies and then bombard the building to be demolished. For several minutes, the luminous energy penetrates every crack of and crevice of the building, eating away at the chemical bond of the brick and mortar. And then, ta-da, one building rotted to the ground. Somebody's been practicing. Okay, Foxy, as usual, you make the mess, I clean it up. Foreman, we're going to need a lot more trucks than this. This is unbelievable. Well, it's able to start digging the foundation by the end of the day. Spectrum ought to be able to help with that, too. Meanwhile, heading toward Herculenia, Hyperion's not adjusting to his blindness very well, is he? Well, if you used to be able to do everything better than everybody else, and now you can't even do something as basic as seeing, how would you feel? The image simulators he wears lets him know where things are, but he says the radar images are pretty dismal. Well, his lack of sight hasn't prevented him from seeing how you're the ideal woman for him. I am I? If that's so, why did I have to practically force myself upon him to make him respond to me? So men are like that, Azarda. My Philip was the same way. I almost resorted to magics to get him to tumble for me. Ooh, these are the Medical Association building already. I hope they don't ask me too many technical questions. Personally, I have no idea how the hibernacles and their support devices will affect the medical profession. I have to ask you, Zarda, why didn't you ask Apex along? She helped Tom perfect the process. She could answer their questions. You aren't just singling me out for the easy assignment because of my pregnancy, are you? I intend to work straight through my 9th month. The reason I didn't take Ape X is I don't believe a genius female ape is our best spokesperson in a high-profile situation like this. The two of us know how to lay on the charm. If this situation warrants it, don't worry, the question won't be that technical. Gee, I wonder what Zarda's reaction would be if she could see through my spell of invisibility and learn how far along in my pregnancy I really was. Well, back at the Squadron City, just a few more seconds, Hyperion, and I'll have it. I had it, and I lost it. Why do I keep feeling that my blindness is my punishment somehow? For losing my cool and using my atomic vision to totally demolish that inhuman thing that took my place. There, good as new. Sorry it took longer than I expected. I found a few other chips that also needed adjusting. Thank you. You don't know how disconcerting it is to be able to in the dark, and my strength that it is. I'm just so afraid I'll accidentally hurt someone or destroy something. Well, I'm off. Thanks again. Have a good day, Hyperion. If he thinks being blind is bad, he ought to feel what it's like to be a legless mutant ape. Hello, Ada. How's the replication going? Slowly but surely. Mind if I check a few of the memory loops? Not at all. Oh, Tom, I miss you so much. I can't wait for cancer to have you. I can't wait for them to cure cancer to have you back. I just pray this robotic simulacrum can capture the essence of you. And in Squadron City's hospital facility, Dr. Anthony Ork makes his morning rounds. One wouldn't think of a city of 1,000 inhabitants would have so little time to keep full-time physician busy. Careful, Anton. Boredom is what fostered a proclivity towards criminality. Remember, not that there is any danger of that happening again, given my behavior modification. I wonder if my former partner in crime is showing any good grief. What's spilled all over the floor? It's Quagmire's doing. Even though he's comatose, he must have activated his ability to project the mucus extraminuscule substance into this reality. Could this mean that he's coming out of his coma? The monitor indicates no change in his vital signs, other than slightly increased alpha wave activity. I just thought of something. If Quagmire doesn't return to consciousness and his mind continues to let the dark matter pass into the world, what is going to stop it? Please, Quagmire, wake up. While over the Midwestern skies. Hey, look, Eagle, I know you don't dig me, man, and any more than I dig you, any of these ex-institutors, but when we got to work together, I'd appreciate it if you could say a few syllables every 10 minutes or so. Lampy's right. I have disapproved of him and his crowd. Never figured they had what it takes to be heroes, even after behavior modified them. But I was wrong about Quagmire. While I was out joyriding, he saved 30 people and fell into a coma in his efforts. I'm sorry, Lamprey. I'm just not a very talkative guy. I guess I'll try to know what to do. What do you want to talk about? No time to rap now, Wings. We're here already. National Decriminalization Institute. Hello, I'm Blue Beagle. And this is my comrade, Lamprey. I'm Seward Braxton, the newly appointed director of the Institute. And here, in the highly fortified center of the building, is the actual rehabilitation chamber. Once completed, we'll have 24 cubicles with behavior modification machines in each. Convicts from across the nation will be sent here, held in the holding cells for the few hours it takes to do all the paperwork, then marched in here for decriminalization. We estimate we should be able to handle about 100 convicts per day if necessary. It will certainly be a relief for the squadron to no longer have to perform the process ourselves, Mr. Braxton. I would like to make a few recommendations about your security setup, however. Nothing too major. Lamprey, here, may have a good idea. One or two as well. Here's one of the squadron's brightest new recruits. Finally, at the Civil Service Building in Midtown Cosmopolis. Okay, just fill out this application and take it to the counter in the next room. They will give you the examination form. Sure. It sure is great having the two of you here to kick off this new job program. Whizzer, the line of applicants stretches around the block. Well, Mr. Hicks, with the crime rate at a new all-time low, public appearances make up a good deal of the squadron's activities these days. Are you made of rubber, Mr. Shape? No, Shape just have stretchy shape. My paramedic training ought to make it a cinch for me to become a hybridmedic. I'd really like to thank you, sir, for all of the job opportunity that you Squadron has created. You guys are fantastic. It was very sorry to hear about Tom the Thumb, by the way. Ha 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 ha. Before Shape joined Squadron, no one liked him. Now everybody does, especially children. You're better than Santa Claus. Just sign it to Susan. What in the... Oh, what? Who that? Hello, my name is Moonglow, and this is my friend, Redstone. We're here to apply for jobs, too. To be specific, we want to join Squadron. Let's step outside. Other than costumes, what makes you two think you've got what it takes to join the Squadron? Well, for one thing, I can do this. Oh. As for me, gentlemen, I can fly through the air as light as a moonbeam. And speaking of light, I can also affect the Earth's gravity to make you boys light enough to float away. What in... Whoa! Where have the two of you been all these months? Why have you never heard of you before you... How did you get your powers? We've only recently acquired our paranormal abilities. We'll tell you how it happened when you have an hour to spare. And why do you want to join the Squadron? You know, the chance to use our powers for a worthwhile cause. Besides, you're the only game in town. I am certain the Squadron will be very interested in you two, Moonglow, Redstone. We are greatly understaffed compared to the immediate immensity of our mission. Wait here, I'll wrap up our business inside, and then we'll take you to meet the Squadron. 2 hours later. Okay, we're here at Squadron City. You can take the blindfolds off. Little does the wizard know that I never had mine on in the first place, making others see that I wish them to see, such as child's play. If you step this way, I'll show you to the guest facilities. The Squadron should be all back from their assignments by 6 or so. You can meet them all then. Short times later in the study, Kyle and Richmond, alas, Nighthawk. Hey, Kyle, what's the word? Our two double agents make it yet? I'm not certain, Wyatt. The 6 o'clock news should be on shortly. You know, Kyle, I really appreciate you letting me join the team, considering the disgraceful thing I did that got me booted out of the Squadron. I accept full responsibility for my actions, for using the B-Mod machine to mess with my lady's mind. But if the Squadron hadn't invented that bleeding thing in the first place, well, I just want to thank you for giving me a chance to redeem my honor. Half of our members have souls in need of some redemption, Wyatt, myself included. But the main thing that needs redeeming around here is the Squadrons. Wait, look at this. Approach Squadron members Whizzer and the Shape in downtown Cosmopolis today, while it is not known who they are or what they wanted. The two figures accompanied the Squadron when they left the scene. All right, Big Red and Mooney are in, so it would appear. Only 3 more of us to sneak in. I'll go tell the others. My private line. It can only be Master Menace. You need not go to the trouble of procuring a behavior modification machine for me from the Squadron, Nighthawk. How so? My sources inform me that they are transferring a number of the machines to an outside facility. Now that I know where to find them, I can raid that place myself. Now wait a minute, Menace. I've just placed 2 of my people inside Squadron to headquarters, as we discussed. They will be able to get you the plans to the machine. Even if you raid was successful, the heat would be on you like crazy. We need you to be safe and free. There's not another person on Earth with the brains to create a counter-brainwashing device. Your concern is touching for my former enemy. You have 2 weeks before I take the matter into my own hands. 9 o'clock assembly at the squadron headquarters. So now that you've met and talked with them a bit, I'd like to nominate Redstone and Moonglow for trial membership. As the only team of superhuman champions in America, it is our duty to accept it into our ranks every superhuman being we find and train them to be the best heroes they can be. I'll second the nomination, but I think we better run through background checks on them before granting them full membership. There's a way we can award them full membership right off the bat, which will not only spare us the time wasted in investigating their past, it will also allow them to participate in our 11th hour activities to implement the Utopia program that much sooner. What is it, Blue Eagle? I move that we use the BMOD device on them, even as we did the Quagmire and the other institutioners, to ensure their loyalty to us. Now, wait a minute, Beagle. It was different. That says Bagel. It was different with the institutioners. They had criminal records. I think all you guys ought to submit to it, and you think it's such a good idea? It's been a matter of principle to limit the use of the machine to convicted felons. Shape don't understand. It's the safest, most expedient way to make strangers join. It worked for me. I don't see anything wrong with it. The two of them approached us in good faith. It'd be pretty scummy to betray that faith. And after a vote is taken against Blue Eagle's proposal, I agree with you, Wings. They're going to be sorry if they don't give the new Joes the treatment. Then it's unanimous that we let Redstone and Moonglow join as provisional members pending a background check Wizard will run. If I may make another suggestion, I think that we ought to start an active recruitment program. There's no telling how many superhumans may be out there. We don't know we'd welcome them. All in favor of initiating a recruitment program, signify by raising your hand. Just then. Need help. Hospital. Dr. Decibel. I should have anticipated something was up when Decibel failed to show up for the meeting. Hey, that looks like Quagmire's muck. What in the world? It's like a mudslide. There are 4 others on duty, including Decibel and 2 patients. The black stuff is everywhere. I couldn't get anywhere near Quagmire's room. Spectrum, Hyperion, accompany Wizard back inside to evacuate the building. Everyone else remain here. There's definitely Quagmire's goop all over. Wonder if this means that the old slime ball's snapping out of his coma. Foxfire, Arcana, Lamprey, see what you can do to contain this substance before it spreads further. My dry rot energy never had any effect on Quagmire's otherworldly gunk. My magics only hold sway over natural substances. This dark stuff is anything but. Leeching energy off this god makes my nose runny and my stomach hurt. Oh, thanks, Eagle. It's almost sprayed me. Geysers of that stuff keep erupting from greater forces. What is the world and Quagmire doing in there? Just how much more of this substance can he make? Shape, keep you dry, Fox. You 4 clear the quadrant. All of the personnel put the rest of the city on alert. Prepare all vehicles for total evacuation. Will do. The black stuff keeps pouring out of the hospital, half burned in already. I wish our precious party would get out of there. Anxious minutes later. Hype, did it wear out? Did it wear out? Good thing, too. The air inside here is almost all used up. Sploom. Way to go, Hype. Guess we found a way out okay despite being blind as a bat. Dr. Decibel and Quagmire are not with them. Lamprey, you bring the civilians to safety. Sure thing, powwow. We couldn't get to Decibel or Quagmire. The ooze gets thicker closer to the point of origin. I could probably have gotten through it, but we were all running a very limited air supply. I know, you did all you could. Hi. Come on, Wiz. Let you and me see if we can do something to contain this muck flow. I'll go get a shovel. Be back in a jiff. I can make a dam to hold the stuff back, but it's pushing out with such force. Help me brace my wall, Stan. Way ahead of you, Joe. Quagmire would never create this menace intentionally. His behavior modification wouldn't let him. then he must be releasing it while still comatose. That's what I figure. If Decibel and I is near him, he's probably already dead, and judging by how the stuff keeps flowing, the whole city is in danger. It may not stop there either. If I understand Quagmire's power, his mind creates portals into some other dimensions where the dark fluid originates. Oh man, the pressure against the dam is incredible. How long can I keep it up? The bigger the hole, the more fluid seeps through. The question is, how do you close up the hole that's inside a brain? If it's impossible to awaken him so he can close the hole, there's only one other option. To close the hole, we'd have to shut down the brain that's creating it. In other words, pull the plug on his life support system. Killing him? As squadron leader, I have to make that decision. Spec is starting to spill over the top. I know. I can't make it to the dam any night higher than that. I can't see any other way out of this. We have to pull the plug on Quagmire. Come on, let's do it before it's impossible to get to. With all due respect for your strength, Zarda, I don't believe you'll be able to make it through the muck to its center. I'd feel a lot better if you'd let me do this alone. Well, all right, be careful. You know I will. Blurt goes through it. This stuff reminds me a bit of tar, but it's easily 10 times as dense. I think I've had easier times swimming through molten rock than this stuff. Listen to me, making all the inane observations I can. Anything to keep myself from thinking about what I'm here to do. Kill a man. Not just a man, an innocent, my friend. Though Zarda made the decision to do it, I'm the only one who's actually doing it. To rationalize that, I am the only following orders is a cop-out. I am morally responsible for everything I do. Can I go through with this? Must be always sacrifice the good of the individual for the good of the many. 27 minutes later. This just had to be it. I know, I felt the nurse's station just down the corridor, and Quagmire's room was the first one on the right after it. At least my blindness is no handicap here. The others told me the stuff was impossible to see through. I believe I can hear the hum of the life support machine. It certainly was built to last. Now the outlet must be... I've got it. Quagmire, I pray you forgive us. It vanished the millions of tons of black gloop. Gone the instant I pulled the plug. And Quagmire, where? Soon. Hyperion, you did it. It worked. Decibel's dead drown apparently let's get him to the hibernacle. As for Quagmire, I'm not sure where he went. I suspect the moment his brain died and all the muck was sucked back through the hole to the other dimension, he was swept along with it. What a dirty way to die. They all are, pal. And that was Squadron Supreme, number 10 from 1986. That was the longest read of 33 minutes. Once again, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. As I always say...
That was easy.
And until next time, Papa is out.